The finale of Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 and the concluding episode of the Shibuya Incident was perfect. 2023 has been just an insane year for anime. I did a poll here on the channel and you guys voted that Attack on Titan was the clear anime of the year, which, yay! But in all seriousness, we had One Piece satisfying fans still in a way that is beyond impressive with Gear 5, Vinland Saga Season 2, which is the literal definition of peak, AOT, which, yeah, I say is able to contend with only 2 episodes, it still deserves to be in the conversation, and there's other shows like Frennen, which is the only thing I've ever seen on my timeline with just how good it is, along with Jujutsu Kaisen. 2023 is just so stacked, with many more anime that I haven't even mentioned being goated. The Shibuya Incident as a whole has just been insane. It goes from strength to strength, fight to fight, only topping itself. Honest to God, if we were to do an anime fights of the year list, JJK would come away with most spots on the list. I will be covering the rest of Season 2 in another video, including the events of Hidden Inventory, so make sure to subscribe to the channel for more video essays just like this. I've got so much planned for 2024, and also to make sure to check the description down below for a link to our Patreon. But for today, I'm just going to be talking about the finale. Now, what happens in this episode? Off the bat, we have a new version of the intro now featuring my boy. We will be touching on him later, but this little addition is quite nice because it's like an adaptation of this manga cover, which is just so cool. During the script writing process, my tabs on Opera looked like this, just trying to search and cite who did what, using websites like Anime News Network and Sosakuga Buru. When I first did my Attack on Titan video and a few anime videos after that, I would go, oh, well done Mappa or Madhouse or whoever animated it. I sometimes would then mention a single animator or maybe a director, but to quickly say to all these people and to Shota Goshozono, who was the director of all of Season 2, but also to the rest of the key animators of the finale. A thanks goes to everyone who worked on this season. You guys did an amazing job. With videos like Mauricio's on the state of the industry, I just feel it's important to try our hardest to credit the individuals rather than saying X studio and simply just put the name attached to the project. Mappa didn't animate anything. Execs did not spend hours compositing, adjusting frames, storyboarding, doing corrections, just anything. It's the people who dedicate their lives to the craft who we should be thanking. Shota also did the layouts and storyboarding for the final episode alongside directing. And when watching for this specific aspect, it stood out to me that it was just outstanding. His pacing with the layouts and direction for what was a very dense episode, I feel like it was a direction masterclass. All the action can be top notch, but if we aren't invested in the world or who is at stake, then it's all meaningless and just, yeah, means nothing. We have spent, what, 16 episodes cooped up within a single train station? The events of this arc will shape the rest of the world. So the entire third of the episode that shows cityscapes and families being affected, it's brutal, but also vital. To get back onto the story of this episode, the finale starts off with Mummy. Yuki. Yuki shows up and contests false Geto. This makes up roughly the first third. We kind of finally get closure on what the hell this new version of Geto has been wanting. There's been a disconnect, at least for me, that Geto from Zero was clear. Kill all non-sorcerers so then no more cursed energy is produced. But this new Geto, false Geto, nah. He ain't about that life. The twist of False Geto's plan here was brilliant and delivered really well. So if this new Geto's plan isn't to eradicate humanity and non-sorcerers, then what is it? He doesn't care for idyllic peace, and in classic JJK fashion, his answer's complicated. What he says brings a ton of new questions about the law, the mechanics of abilities and how they work, and character relations. To start, his plan was to absorb the cursed spirit of Mahito at full strength. Thanks to Itadori, that became possible, so that False Geto can do a remote idol transfiguration and activate the next stage of his plan, which was 1. for people who had absorbed cursed objects like Itadori did to have the strength to be vessels, and 2. and for people like Junpei who have cursed techniques but whose brains were structured like non-sorcerers, for those people to now have the ability to now activate their techniques. In short, across Japan, there are around 1,000 malevolent Yujis running amok causing havoc, in turn creating a new golden age for cursed spirits. In his wording, it seems like an attempt like this was thwarted before.
人間の可能性はそれを自ら生み出そうともした。だがそれではダメなんだ。私から生まれるものは私の可能性の域を出ない。答えはいつだって混沌の中で黒く輝いているものだ。私が作るべきは私の手から離れた混沌だったのだ。
His new plan now allows for pure chaos incarnate that cannot be controlled at all. False Geto teases our boy Gojo one last time, then drops major key info just like it's nothing.
聞いてるかい、スクナ。始まるよ。呪術全盛、平安のような。
what the actual fuck? Who is Hienan? That's a proper noun. That name in the subs is capitalized. He was speaking to Sukuna like he knows him. The middle third really is just these couple of panels here. It's kind of insane to me how well these panels were adapted. It paces the episode out really well. We see how Tokyo and the rest of Japan feels about the current situation. With all of that out of the way, like, that stuff is all good. It's pretty much all set up for what's to come. I am hyped, but it's not quite what I'm thinking about when the credits begin to roll. It's not what I'm looking for. That is because it's time to talk about my boy. This is so perfect. I love him so much. The sequence starts off with this almost fisheye lens. It's so cold and distant feeling, like we are watching from a security camera. Cut to a starving girl just eating alone. A classic start to a horror sequence. The writing is on the wall. A cursed spirit speaks. So we already know this is at least special grade. This tells us everything we need to know about the lethality of False Geto's plan. Special grades just are now springing up. Who knows how many special grades are out there and how many special grade sorcerers are there to stop them. The girl begins to run as we hope for someone to intervene, to reveal then an angelfish style cursed spirit about to engulf this little girl. Bam! Honestly, dude, our boy is back looking better than ever and comes back in style. He joins the fight like Levi. It's just so bloody sick. The tone since episode 1 of the show has just gotten darker and darker, but with the reintroduction of Yuta, we can now see someone who, in Zero, despite his bubbly nature, has that level of grittiness that season 2 has brought to the table. But it's also good to compare how Yuta speaks to a child and Gojo.
いっぱい歩いた。そっか。頑張ったね。
俺は全員家とやらに売られたらしい。ああ、ムカつくよ。あんたのそのデリカシーのなさが特に。しかもそのムカつく男が全員家の剣を帳消しにして。
Yuta makes it so the little girl's eyes doesn't see what Rika does to the cursed spirit, which, 1, showcases how confident Yuta is with cursed spirits, that is special grade, that they mean so little to him, and 2, wait, Rika's back? Yeah, sweet. Jumping ahead with Yuta, we see them setting up an arc that I love, that literally never gets done right, but I have faith, and it seems to be the protagonist versus protagonist type of situation. Yuta versus Yuji, and I am here for it. With a casual information drop that Sukuna had cut both of Toge's arms off in Shibuya, like, he was Yuta's boy. They were so cute together, along with everything else. His attitude here is so damn funny to see. The High Council are acting as if like, oh, this is going to be against your interest, and Yuta is just straight up.
虎杖裕二は僕が殺します。
Yeah! Most times this is tried, there is obviously a correct side or a side that everyone supports. But here, everyone loves Yuta. Everyone on Twitter is hyping Yuta up. And Itadori, he's our guy. At least I love him. He's trying his best. Both are really good people. It's just that one of them happens to be the vessel of the King of Cursed Spirits. It just happens to be that way. So, along with everything else, we have a rivalry for the ages. Where this goes, I have no idea. It's a mystery to me. My only hope is that it somehow finds a way to just slow down in sections and allows characters to just rest and breathe for a moment. This season got 1 episode to do that and a single scene to do that. The final title cards also tie up the remaining loose ends so well. Geto's death sentence is reinstated. What blew me away was that Gojo, of all people, was deemed an accomplice in the Shibuya incident. To me, this seems like the Jujutsu headquarters are just trying to find a justifiable reason to oust him. There is no way they can do it themselves. They're not powerful enough. And in their hubris, I think it makes sense for them to do this. What's really rough is that the principal dude got dragged in, like, fuck, that's rough. And lastly, Yuji gets his suspension revoked on his execution, with Yuta himself being the man ordered to do it. Man, this is just fuel for anticipation. I am excited. The final scene with Yuji, we see him on a bridge as he begins his hunt of the roaming cursed spirits by himself, separate from Jujutsu High. Manga readers warned us Shibuya would be a lot, but it wasn't just the deaths that made Shibuya as impactful as it was. The flow and pacing of it all, the staging. The Shibuya Incident will go down as one of the best arcs in anime history. I plan to cover the entire arc later in the month, but this episode just dropped and I needed to share my 2 cents on it. But what did you think of the finale to JJK Season 2? Will JJK be anime of the year for you? Let me know down below, and other than that, I just have to thank my patrons. In the Great Mate tier, we have Colin, CJ, and Nick. And in the Good Mate tier, we have Jadu Sable. If seeing your name here at the end of videos or hearing your name be called out along with other great perks interests you, make sure to follow the link down below in the description and you get to see videos early, among other good things. Anyways, thank you so much for watching today's video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel with the notification bell turned on, and I'll see you guys in the next one.